You've watched all the productivity videos. You've probably watched my productivity videos. You have spent countless hours figuring out how to plan, what it needs to look like. Like, this is not new to you. It's not about how to plan, it's about the execution. So today's video is going to be specifically about what do you do when you know how to plan, but you just can't get up and execute. You have it, you've got the perfect system and template in your mind, but when it comes to actually implementing the action that you're writing down on paper or typing up on your phone or your computer, you just can't seem to get it done. So I'm gonna give you 5 simple tips. Number 4 is my absolute favorite on how you can get through this season, any season, and recapture your ability to actually execute what it is that you plan to do. So let's be honest about something. The thought of planning and the actual process of planning is actually pretty exciting. It is also releasing that dopamine of you're getting something done, but you're actually not doing the hard work. We all feel better when we have a plan. We all feel like we're more organized, we're able to go out and conquer the world. But the thing about planning is it really doesn't matter if it doesn't go from pen to paper. And so why is it that we are so good at planning, but we're not very good at execution? Well, let me give you some reasons why. The first one is that a lot of people are just overwhelmed with way too many tasks. When they sit down and they actually write out a plan, they are coming up with way too many to-dos, way too many big rocks, and they're not able to narrow it down. And the thought of tackling anything just overwhelms them, and so they don't get things done. The other one is the fear of imperfection. The thing about a plan is on paper, it's beautiful. It's a masterpiece. You have thought this out. You have crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. And so when you actually have to get up and move to action, whatever this perfect plan was on paper, the moment that it doesn't start to feel perfect, or the moment you're not building that momentum, or you're not getting that return on investment, it just feels like, oh, this wasn't the plan. Let me abort and let me go back and re-navigate. But that could be the furthest thing from the truth. The other thing that really slows people down from actually moving from planning to action is a lack of immediate rewards. Like, let's be honest, if you are on a weight loss journey, or you're on a job search journey, or you're going on a back to school journey, those very few first steps, they're exhilarating, they're exciting because you're moving. But the few steps after that is when you don't get those instant gratitude, you don't see the scale go down, you don't get the interview, you don't get the application acceptance. Like, it just causes that chain reaction of, I put all this time, energy, and effort into this plan, but yet I'm not really seeing traction. And then so many things. People start the process and they just quit. You can probably name something in your life that you have started the process, you were gung-ho about. You could look around your probably home and see evidence of an old exercise machine, or an old project, or a hobby, or just money that you pour into something and you actually never finished it through. And that is because you just didn't stick it out. And sometimes you have to know when to navigate and when to exit out. But a lot of times just the inability to see that instant gratification causes us to slow down, back out, and we just get paralyzed in planning. And then the other one, and the last one, which I think is really honestly the one that most people fall into, is just energy management. And energy management is a little bit different from time management. Time management is, what am I doing exactly at 10 o'clock? What am I doing at 4 o'clock? Energy management is, where am I the most energized during the course of a day or the course of a week? And am I looking at that and strategically scheduling things during that time? If you know you are not a morning person and you're never going to be a morning person, then it would not make sense to be scheduling workouts or your best things in the morning time. If you know that you are a person that really crashes on Friday evening after work, now's not the time to be trying to take on a project. Like me, I'm a morning person. I'm gonna get as much done as I can, probably between 5 a.m. and about 11 a.m. Then I'm gonna teeter a little bit, and then I'll pick it back up probably at about 5 or 6 o'clock at night until 9. So I know that I probably should not be trying to do my best work between 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of people don't take inventory of their energy management because we're so used to time management and time blocking. It's just that additional layer that you may want to think of as you are starting to navigate and really reflect on why you're not able to execute so many things that you have these big ideas to do. So let's start with solutions. Know how to plan. We kind of know why we're not motivated or disciplined enough to get up and do things. So what is the solution? That's why you watch the video. First solution is start ridiculously small. I said it, start ridiculously small. If your task is, I want to lose 10 pounds, ridiculously small, I want to lose 8 pounds. If your task is, I want to clean out that closet that's been driving me crazy, then the ridiculously small task would be something simple. I want to go in there and put all the shoes in a pile. You need to start ridiculously small if you are literally sitting around and really not doing much of anything. I know so many of you are probably familiar with atomic habits, tiny habits, micro habits. That's exactly what they are. They're little small chunks and granular things that you can do so you can cause positive momentum. And it may sound almost juvenile, but I promise you, like, if you actually start a small task and just see a corner of progress, that kind of starts the momentum for you. And then you feel like, oh, that was way too easy, and then you want to do more. What we tend to do is we go from 0 to 100, and that is often why we're not able to execute our plans. Second tip is create accountability. I can tell you, and I'm a living, walking example of what happens when you say something out loud and then there's accountability behind it. This YouTube channel is literally, I announced it in a meeting and said I was going to do it, and everybody knew. And I don't even think that anybody was remotely even paying attention to whether I was doing it or not. But it was quite honestly just a matter of, I said it, and now I felt accountable to do it. So find some accountability. Accountability could be in your spouse or in your girlfriends. Accountability could be in a group that you join. Get accountable with people online. There are strangers on the World Wide Web, but you can become friends and people that you're close to online. Creating accountability, even if it's very small accountability, is a really good motivator. Even if you are a very independent, strong person like myself, I still felt like, oh my God, I said this, now I need to follow through. The next one is build momentum. Complete those small tasks. Complete those little things. So just like I said, start with something ridiculously small that's a streak. Maybe if it is literally, I want to spend time with my kids. Maybe every Wednesday, I'm going to spend 15 minutes with my kids after school listening about their day without picking up my cell phone. Maybe it's going to be date night. I want to spend the first Friday of every month. Let me just start there, not every week, the first Friday of every month, and just see at the end of a quarter, like, I'm able to do that. I cannot tell y'all how this stuff works because it does. I remember when my daughter was in high school and I wanted to spend time with her. And so we started something called Pickles and Pajamas. I know, girl was in high school, but her nickname is Pickle from when she was little. And like every Wednesday we picked a movie. I was like, girl, I'm about to teach you all these black movie classics. So I think we started with Friday, and it was House Party, and New Jack City, and Menace to Society, and all these movies. Like, it took weeks to go through these movies, but it got to the point where I didn't even have to ask her about Pickles and Pajamas. She would be like, oh, what are we watching for Pickles and Pajamas? Now, this girl was in high school when we were doing this. So I say that starting something and stacking those small wins, and then it turned into just something that we do. And even to this day, she's in college, but there's still shows that we watch together. She watches an episode, and I watch an episode, even though we're hundreds of miles apart. So it works, I promise you. My favorite one is remove friction. Y'all know I'm about a no. Y'all know I'm about create an environment that works for you. Like, removing friction means identifying the things that you want to get done, listing those things out, because you're probably already doing that when you're creating a plan anyway. And then you are figuring out what are the obstacles to this plan. So if you know that you need to get up at 5 a.m. and work out, then I know you've heard this a million times, but putting out your workout clothes, figuring out what the workout is going to be in the morning, putting your alarm clock someplace you can't get to it and just hit snooze. What is the friction that's going to cause you not to be able to do something? I would really challenge you to figure out what it is that you want to do, why you're not doing it, and then write down all of the things, the reasons that would stop you from doing it. And then try to figure out, how can I create an environment where I'm removing the friction? We go straight to, like, these are the things I want to get done. This is how I'm going to do it. And we don't ever think about the obstacles. The obstacles is what's knocking you off. The obstacles is what's throwing you off. That, and probably a little bit of laziness. But we're going to remove that, because if you're already slightly not motivated, then adding any kind of obstacle, I don't know about you, but like, if I'm going to do something and something throws me off my routine, sometimes I'll be like, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. And then for many people, tomorrow turns into next week, next month, next year, or never. And then probably my second favorite one, but I do it on autopilot now, and I've talked about this in my productive after work video, is like 2-minute drill. These are 2-minute tasks. If you can do it in less than 2 minutes, get it done. If you can get the coffee out ready to go, so in the morning when it's time to go to work, you don't have to spend that additional task doing that and you don't feel rushed, do it. 2-minute task is picking out your clothes the night before so that when you get up in the morning, you're not running later, you're not running behind. The 2-minute task is I want to spend time with my kids, we're going to watch a movie. It's the week before, let me spend 2 minutes browsing and figuring out the movie. The 2-minute task could be I have a paper that I'm writing because I'm going to get ready to go back to school and I just need to figure out a topic. Let me spend 2 minutes doing it. You have spent more than 2 minutes. You've spent probably 10 minutes already watching this video. That's 5 tasks. Y'all, 2 minutes. So I want you to pick one thing that's on your to-do list that you have just not been able to get up and do. I want you to go back and look at the one thing, and then I want you to go back and I want you to look at these principles that we've talked about and try to apply these 5 principles to the one thing that you've identified that you want to work on. Like, now's the time to start building up your muscle of discipline and motivation, because for many of you, the new year's coming, depending on when you're watching this video, and you're going to start strong and then you're going to fall flat when you don't have these tools and techniques in your toolbox to be able to go back and do the things that you need to do. Remember, planning is important. It is. Like, anywhere without a planner, and my family knows and everyone I know, I'm about a plan. But execution is the most important thing. So it doesn't matter. Poor plan executed is better any day than an excellent plan that's sitting on paper. So I definitely hope these tips help. Comment, watch, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. We are going to be talking about how to plan systems and not goals for the new year. So I will hope you will come back and watch that one too as well.